Hello everyone, this is Deanna, the Organized Miss, and I'm setting down to get organized for the week. I haven't turned the camera on for a while when I do a plan with me, and so I thought, I will go ahead and do that. Probably just going to fast forward. I mean, if I talk through here, I'll just, if it's something important, I'll leave it on. If it's not important, I'm just going to fast forward and do a voiceover or add music or something like that. But yeah, so I have my master planner. It's just what I use for everything. I have a little, what I call just a junk book, a dump book. I put all my thoughts in here. I carry it with me everywhere because I don't usually carry this. It's usually right here or on my other desk. And then whatever planner I'm using for the current time being. So I've got this second Hobonichi that I've been using, and I've not been decorating it. Like, it is literally just lists and appointments. I use it whenever I want to pull it out. I still have my other Hobonichi that I do sticker plan in and decorate because, I've got to do both. And so I do go in and, sticker plan in this one. I don't usually carry it with me. Sometimes I will if I'm in the mood to, see pictures and stuff. And let me say usually. I'm not currently carrying it with me. So this was this current week, so we're here today. So I'll go back in and, sometimes I will set it up like, when I know I have appointments coming up, and then just go in and fill it in after the fact, which is what I had done here. And now it's time to do this. So I will do this later, but for now it is just like specifically what's on deck. And planning has to stay fluid for it to be functional for us, right? And my life is shifting again, which is fine. It's good. I work for myself, and I'm a caregiver for my mother. It's her needs are starting to change again, so I've got to start kind of reevaluating some of my routines, and so all that to say how important planning and journaling and documenting is. And if you're watching this and you're a planner, you get it, right? And if you're new to my channel or to planning, welcome. Please feel free to hit the like, subscribe, come back. I share more of that. I share my planning journey, my crafting, my junk journaling, which is, another form of memory keeping, I suppose. It's more of just like mental health and creativity for me. I do both types of planning, what people call functional planning, which I believe it's all functional. If it helps you get the things done, it is functional. I personally, the way my brain thinks is sometimes I need pictures to look at to help me, and colors and images, and to help me process what's going on. And if you are just overwhelmed by this, it's because you lean more to like logical list brain, left hemisphere of the brain, rely on that. We use both sides, but I use the term left brain, right brain. Using the right hemisphere would be that you're more, creative and use colors and stickers, and you draw or whatever to help you process. And sometimes I need that. As you can see, there's few words here. What I wanted was pictures, and I can tell you what these mean. Obviously, these are days I went to the gym, trash day. I had to pick up a key for an event, doctor's appointments, headaches, tea parties, all the things. But other times I need a list, and I want to see words. I don't often do that. Like, I leave if I don't want a list, I will not put one in there. Other times I do want a list, and so it just depends. And sometimes, This can all feel overwhelming to my left hemisphere, and maybe, you know, for whatever reason, that's the side that I'm relying on more frequently. I can tell when my processes shift. And so I just shift over to a different planner or different type of planner. I have several, but I got 2 Hobonichis this year so that I could do, let's see, I got 2 Hobonichis this year so that I could do this. I could just have lists. You know, I could just, you know, have appointments, and that way when I don't want to, you know, see all the colors and stickers and stuff. So I do set up multiple planners. One, because I just want to, on a day that words are hard and I just want pictures, I can just, you know, pick it up and go. And, but also it helps me with memory retention. And, you know, when I write things more than once, just like when we're in school, it helps you remember. And so, because I still have memory challenges from trauma, I'm so much better now. But every now and then, you know, I still just have to have things in place that help me. So setting up multiple planners also helps me with remembering things. So it is Sunday. I've got my phone because I put things in here when I'm out and about. And I will sync, you know, any appointments, you know, notes that I have in here and here, and I will make sure that my master planner has all of it. And then once my master planner is set up, then I go about setting up the other ones. And again, it may seem like a lot, but it's actually pretty helpful. And because I have a routine, you know, I get through it pretty quickly. But I don't always just set up everything on like Sunday. I'm usually pretty much constantly in a flow of you know, updating my planner, you know, moving things along. I just happen to be at a place now because I've been kind of going and just kind of, you know, whatever I've been using. So time to catch up here. So that is where I'm going to start. And we'll just start at, you know, my monthly overview. And so we're here. So I will just look and see what's going on here. And then I will go to my weekly, which was this week. I have all my Post-it notes here. And, you know, I just will do, you know, a review and find out if I have any boxes that are left unchecked. So here, this is the current article that I'm working on, which the boxes are usually stories and articles that I'm working on. And then down here, if I have any tasks or things that need to get migrated. So I put appointments here, and I put to-dos down here. And then sometimes, like, I set up my desk and I was working all day, but I just wanted to document like what I was doing, or, you know, when I did run an errand, whatnot. So I sometimes will fill that in, but because a lot of my work is done on the computer, you know, I can do like, I'll just list something here. So I'll go over this and I'll say, what do I need to migrate? I noted that I had a couple migraines. I've already updated that, but if I hadn't, I would open up my trackers in here, and I would document that here. So it was the 8th and the 10th, but I've already done that. So that would be the first thing. And then my Post-it. If you followed me, you know, I just move this from week to week to remind myself that no one wants to be the person to drop the ball, you know, and for me, the only thing I can control is what I do. And so this is to remind myself to do the things or move it forward, you know, or delegate, but not to leave things undone. So if this is here at the end of week, I know if I miss something one day or two, I'm going to catch it here at the end of the week. So I just go through here, and if I have a box unchecked, then I decide, did I just forget to check it? Or is it something that I need to do right then? Like, you know, the David Allen getting things done method. Can you do it in 2 minutes? Then do it. If not, make it is an appointment you can set with yourself to do it, or does it need to go onto a project or task list? So for me, it's here because I need to do it. And I've done all the things this week. So this sits here for next week. And since I have everything except this appointment here, and I did go, this is an article I'm working on, and I went and filmed, I interviewed a couple people, and I have one more interview to do next week. So I'm going to move that forward. And the interview is going to be right here. And it is on my phone because I set the appointment with her today to go in. So I will follow that up there. And then I usually leave this open like this because I know I'll come back and mark it here. So I ended up not going to this today because my mother fell in the middle of the night. So that was dealing with that this morning after, anyway. So by the time I got to this, it was later in the day. So here we are out here. And because the rest of this is done, then I'm going to just mark that out because we were gone all day. So now I come over here and I'm going to pull up my monthly, and I'm going to see that I have an appointment tomorrow at and now I just looked at that and I realized I have an appointment at the same time. So I'm going to have to call her right now and reschedule. Okay, so just wipe that out. I know that I have these, and I'll wait to hear back from her about that appointment. I have the week open to work on tasks as far as appointments go. 7 a.m. on the 19th. Okay, so now that I've done that, I will go through and just confirm that I didn't put something else down, because as you can see, that's easy to do, but that's why I try to look at this every week just to make sure. Okay, so look at that. I do have okay, so those are the only appointments that I have listed in my phone. But like I said, when I'm out, sometimes my catch-all is whatever I grab at that moment. So I'll open up my monthly on here, and I'll just confirm. So as you can see, I did have my eyelashes here. Actually, I wonder if I put it on my monthly and just didn't realize it. No, I did not, because I make that appointment when I'm there with her. That is all I have listed here. So now I go through, and if I had any undone tasks down here, then I would migrate them. So like I put an arrow here to tell myself. Usually I put the arrow after the fact, but I did that this morning thinking I knew I needed to do that. So I'm going to say call, text, tab. And then, and actually, if I was following my system of if it can be done in 2 minutes, I would just do that right now. And put the ball in her court because it's in mine and I need to get it off of there, right? So, and I did that. So because I did, then I put an X up this way. That means I've done something, I'm waiting on someone else. So I only put the X down once it's completed, right? I'm trying to think of something that, so like this grant here, when I downloaded the paperwork and started processing it, I put 1/ through there. And then after my daughter finished filling out the paperwork and everything and hit send, then I crossed it that way. That's just an example. And so then that'll trigger a thought. So a little bit like a trigger list. Once I start like writing down something, it'll trigger something else. And if it's something I know I can accomplish or need to accomplish, like a task for, you know, the next day, which for me is Monday, then I'll put it there. If not, it goes on one of these Post-it notes. And then I process it. So these are Post-it notes that I collected during the week. And I either, you know, had started checking things off of them. You know, maybe I still have one thing like here left. So I'll decide, do I want to hold on to this Post-it note anymore? Because it's taken me a while to, you know, get some of those checked off. Or start a new Post-it note. And I'm going to start a new Post-it note. So this is this project that I broke down into steps for myself. And so I'm keeping it floating with this as I'm still working on it. So I'm just going to move it right over here. Now, I know that I'm going to interview her. Well, now the time has changed. And when it does, I'll change it there. But as I do things, like today I went to the event and filmed and interviewed a couple people there. And as I work on them, I will do each sub thing done until it's all done. So little system, sometimes when I don't want to build out like a whole project page, if it's something that I know I'm going to do like within a week, I will use Post-it note to create the project. If it's a much longer project, like it's going to take, you know, weeks or months even, I will actually create the project sheet. You know, I'll do a whole project page in here, you know, and I'll have it all listed out and all the steps. But, you know, when it's just a short little, I'm working on it, it goes there. In fact, let's just move this forward. And now I can just put that in the trash. The next one. I do need to keep these, and because they're contextual, one has to do with my mom, I'm going to break them up into separate Post-its. So one of them can go on here, and then the other one is going to go into the planner that I'm going to set up for my mother. So I'm just going to set it here for now. So this is, I'm going to teach a junk journal class here in my community at like a retreat, a crafting. And so I have been gathering all the materials, but now I want to gather them like in little, like little kits, little, you know, to have an example and then things for people to try. So I just added that to that list off of this one. And now I'm done with this one. And this is a Post-it note that they both have to do with this and this. So because I transferred it already, I can throw that away. So why do I do it differently? I put some here and some on the Post-it note. Great question. Thank you for asking. These are the ones like I'm going to do them on Monday, or I'm going to try really hard to do them on Monday. And, or like this one I did today, but I imagine she won't get back with me maybe till Monday. These are floating. So whenever I have the time, you know, I'll plug it in. Like maybe I will do it here or here or here, you know. And so it's, think of it like a someday maybe, but it's actually more like maybe a current master task list. And one of the reasons why I use Post-its instead of like putting it in my planner, sometimes I will, but I'll just do it like on a weekly basis, like what's here, my running task list. But because I might switch out planners, I want to have it here and I can just move it. a lot of times it does stay here on this, you know, right here, because I come back to this all throughout the week. Sometimes I will add it in my book if it's something that I'm going to handle while I'm out and about. This goes with me. I would say 99.9% of the time. Rarely do I leave it. And sometimes I do have Post-its in here, just checking. Oh, yeah, there's one, couple in there. And they have, you know, phone numbers and stuff on it. So that's why these, but I would say the only difference between them is I've assigned a day to do these tasks, but they're not an appointment like this, you know, so the appointments actually go here. So I think I've gotten all that clear as mud. So now that I feel like I've gotten, you know, my things migrated forward, then this is where I would start to kind of do a brain dump or look at my trigger list. So my trigger list is in the front here. So these Post-its are, so when I made this, I went through and took elements from here. This is my personal planner, but it's a system when I make planners for other people, and I recently made one for the school year for someone else, and these are pages she didn't need. Obviously, this is my trigger list. She would need her own. And so I would just look at this. So, and since it's a weekly review that I'm doing now, if it were the beginning of the month, I would start here. And usually, if also, you know, the week or the daily. But because I'm doing my weekly review, the first thing was process, review, migrate. So that's what we just did. And then the next thing is inboxes to 0. So that's when I would check my phone, my email, and just make sure that I've handled everything in there. I did do that earlier before I turned the camera on, but you know, sometimes things come in. So I will just go through here and make sure that I'm not missing something. There's a lot of junk, you know, you get a lot of junk mail or newsletters. That's a Michael's card, a coupon, whatever. And then a reminder for my appointment on Wednesday that I already put down. So once that's done, I deleted everything out. I moved over what I wanted. So I'm at this point now, which is Minesweep with the trigger list. So I'm reviewing it. And then that's why I keep these handy. I've got my notebook. Where's my Post-its here. And pretty much it's just thinking time. what is the first thing I think of, right? And I'll just see where my mind goes as I go down my list of things. And then I will either write it here or create a list somewhere. It's always just like a brain dump. It looks like, let's see, you know, it might be. So I've been writing this way in the book, and then I turned it for the second half this way. So just for fun. So like, you know, a brain dump might be something like this. And then I would process it and decide, you know, what I'm going to do next. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to like see what comes to mind. And sometimes I will go back through here and just see if something I had done, like, you know, a week or two before, you know, triggers my mind about something else. Obviously, I have notes from things I'm dealing with my mother. And so, you know, I'll review those. So I do know that I was waiting on some emails for another article that I'm working on, and they came in yesterday. So here, this is how I create. This is like a project. This is a short project because I'm gonna probably work on this evening. Probably when I'm done getting all my planning together. This is an article, so that I'm gonna submit to my editor. But I'm going to work on some of it tonight. I won't be able to do that until there's an event later this week, and I'm going to go and film it and take photos and that kind of thing. But I can have the article pretty much all together. I've already contacted all the people and gotten quotes and, the outline for the article. So it'll just be collecting photos. And so the way that I will create this little project list, so I have the name of the project, and this is when it's done. And I know this means I'm going to write, this is code for me to write the article. And then this is code for to go film. And I'm either on Tuesday or Wednesday. And I don't know yet because I haven't found out, when. And then photos. Again, it'll go with this, but I'll select which photos are going to go with the article and then submit it. And then once I've done that part, I will edit and the video and podcast and audio. So just do audio. And these are two different steps because these are different, programs. I usually edit the video first, export it, create the audio, also create a transcript so that I have, the words, and then I import it. So the video program, then I import it into my audio, and then I do my, my part, like intro, outro, any kind of voiceover I need to add to it, and then I can upload it. So then the last thing would be upload to YouTube and Pod. So all of these, this is all very short, rough hand, but all of it happens on the computer, or my phone or whatever. And so I'll just do, as I do them all, I'll check them off. And then once I submit it here and have this uploaded here, these two, then I check it off. So all that, and this goes on my week. And because I think it's going to be somewhere around here, I don't know exactly. And it's likely going to be in the morning. So they're just open, waiting until I hear back from them when that will be. Yeah, so I'll just do this, and as things pop up in my mind, I will do that here. This is a project. This is just a project name that I've named it for myself. This is when I do a project, I break it down. This is going to be an article stating that the event is coming up here. And so that is due. I've just given myself a deadline because I want it to be in the paper this morning. So people will be like, oh, we can go to that this evening. So I'll finish that this evening. And then I will attend the event and do photos and videos. And then I'll do a follow-up to this and it will probably be like a video, a podcast, a short, like a reel or a short video or something like that. And it'll just be like, hey, this is what happened. So again, put that here. As you can see, it starts to fill up with Post-it notes, but that's okay. This right now is just how I kind of brainstorm and put it where I want to be. I feel like I've gotten all that accomplished. Sometimes I'll look at this and I'll think, wow, I don't have a lot going on. I've got this wide open space. But I've got some pretty big, heavy, like, when I call these people for my mom on Monday, it sometimes takes a long time, And then I have a doctor's appointment, which means I'm going to be traveling because it's out of town. So I've got to block in time for myself to drive there and drive home and the appointment. So then I will block those things off. And so once I block off my time, then I'm what I refer to as a white space planner. So I figure in my appointments and then drive time. And then I say, where do I have open space to work on projects? One, when do they have to be done, or when can I do them? And so, I'll look in here and I'll say, okay, well, I know I'm going to go to the workout tomorrow. So I just made an appointment with myself. And then by the time I come home and get dressed and ready for the day, I'm just going to have a little window of time right here, likely, to accomplish this phone call. And so I will make this phone call here because it probably will fill up all this time. And if I am still on hold, which hopefully that doesn't happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, then I can just take the phone with me while I'm driving, and sit on hold. So I will likely only get one thing done outside these appointments. And by the time I get home, obviously, then I'm going to be able to work on whatever's outstanding, for the day. And so that is kind of why I have these Post-its, then I float them. And then I'll look and say, okay, where am I going to have some rest for me? Like, I'm going to have to do things like laundry and, straighten up the house, or, those things that just have to get done. And so probably next week, it looks like I'm going to leave. I always have a deadline here. Once I turn in my articles for the next paper, I can take the day after for myself. Now, I'm not going to take the whole day because things are going to come up, but I can rest a little bit more. Same here. I have a deadline right here. I mean, I didn't write it because I know when it is. It's this evening. And so once I finish this article, this is why I have doctor's appointments right here, because I know I won't be crunched for time for a deadline, that I can do my appointments here. And I just remembered I have an appointment over here. See, that's why I do this. I don't know why it's not on my calendar. So that's something I'm going to follow up with them, because I didn't write it down. So it's likely that we just haven't scheduled out, my appointments. This is for physical therapy. So I kind of have standing appointments. So the fact that it's not on my calendar makes me question that. So really, that's why I sit here and I just, sometimes I just let my brain, kind of go down, my trigger list. I have my written trigger list, then I have my, what's in my mind, because I have kind of a routine of, things that I do. And so I'll do that. So my trackers, I did do that already, so I know that I've done that. I set up for next week. I've been previewing my appointments. So this says birthdays. I do have a birthday coming up. Not me, my nephew. And a friend who's like an adopted dad. It's both their birthday here. So I'll remember to reach out to them. And this, I don't always look at this. Like sometimes, I'm just kind of, you have a routine, you know what to do. But sometimes then I'm like, my brain is tired. I need to see what's next. So I have been doing my projects. I'm not ready to pick up any new projects right now, because I've got some that I'm working on, some major things. But if I was wrapping up a project, obviously not that my mother's a project, but that's a new kind of, I need to set up, things for her. If I didn't have those things, I would say, okay, what can I start working on next? Let's see, meal plan and prep. So I already started that earlier with my daughter, so I don't have to do that right now. I planned my workouts and my physical therapy. So next is I need to think about laundry and trash. Well, trash is easy. It's the same, the same every week. And I might go ahead and start a load of laundry tonight. See how that works? I already did some cleaning, so I straightened up the house earlier. My car, because we just did a road trip, I do need to go and kind of clean that out some. So I'll just know that I will do that the next time I go get in the car, which is likely later because I think I have to run to the grocery store. And my purse, I did that before I sat down here. I just went through my purse and I, got everything out here that I was going to need. Obviously, my planners were in there. If there was trash, I threw that out. But I just make that part of the weekly routine. Okay, scheduled coffee date. This is for me. Just to like reach out and talk to a friend and catch up. And I actually already have one scheduled. I already scheduled that. We talked about it last week. So it's just like, when you work for yourself and you work from home and a little bit of an introvert, except for when you have to go be extroverted. It really is. I do need to remind myself, call my friends, let them know I love them, make a time to get together and visit. So that's there. And then self-care day memory keeping. So that is, like I said, I'll find a day when I can just, do things for me that don't require work, or other people, that I can, maybe sticker plan, maybe junk journal for fun, not for the class. Maybe print out some photos for my my little planner over here, just whatever. And right now it is looking like Thursday might be a little more open. So I need to leave it flexible right now, kind of open, just because of these, whatever this is. But I'm thinking it will probably be, here Friday or maybe even Saturday, because I am not going out of town this weekend. So that's it. This is I have gone through my master planner. I've done all the weekly review things. I can go through and set up my planner for this week and whatever planner I want to use. Like, is it this one? Is it this one? I just decide. So that's my weekly plan with me for what's August 14th through 20th. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions about this process, I try to be as thorough as I can, but please feel free to leave a comment in the description box below. If you like seeing how I plan and just my thought process, let me know. I can do more. I don't do them as often as I would like to. Let me rephrase that, because it takes time to turn on the camera, talk through it, walk through it, so that I think it would be helpful for you. Because normally I would just, sit here, go through it, get it done, go on with my my day, which is typically what I do. So then I don't turn the camera on. So enough of that. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.